TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN, 8:30 a.m. on Friday morning, 60 minutes to go until the opening bell, and we have futures up in positive territory, but off the highs of the session. Right now, you have the S&P futures up about 22, looking for an open, though. S&P up about 45, up 1.8%. Dow futures up 455, 20,330, back above that 20,000 price point. NASDAQ up 234 points at 75.08. Oil continuing its gains upward as well. We're going to start things off. We'll start it off with the charts. We'll jump over to the indices, start things off with the Dow. So quite the run last night across the board. You make lows last night at about 7 p.m. Eastern time, 19,418. And we trade up basically about 1,500 points, 20,872. But from there, we're 700 points off of that high overnight in the Dow. NASDAQ, NASDAQ 100. We actually hit limit up in the NASDAQ. You can see it ticking across at that limit up price point, 76.31. And we're now 170 points off that high, 74.65. There's crude oil. Man, we made it all the way up 6 a.m. this morning. You know, it's remarkable. As I was checking on the charts early this morning, 6 a.m. even, I had oil in my head much higher and had missed that this has fallen off now $2.50 in the last 2.5 hours. Watch out for that crude market. Gold contract made it as high as 15.18 early this morning, 4 a.m., still above 1,500 at 15.03. And checking in on the Forex world, I'm going to pull up the euro-US dollar, because talk about some volatility in that as well. You're now under 108, approaching 107, trading at 107.28. We had made it as high on that 4 a.m. correlation to about 108.30. In terms of what else you have happening, headlines, of course, coronavirus related. You have Walmart paying special cash bonuses, hiring 150,000 workers in response to the demand. Walmart has held up pretty well in this market when everything else has been taking a hurting. Wednesday, you really got an acceleration there. I believe that's the day that they came out talking about maybe an upgrade or whatnot, but you see it. I mean, that's an all-time high in Walmart, 128.08. We're going to open this morning at 123.07. Just for some reference, I was jumping around to charts this morning. Target, not faring as well. Look at that high that we had, 130.24. You're going to open at between about 102 and 103 this morning. But interesting, Walmart outpacing them. Amazon holding up relatively well in the face of the destruction in the markets also. 21.85, the high on Amazon, right at around February 11th. We trade down to 16.26. Right now, we're going to open at about 19.40. But you drill this down to a shorter time frame, you see that we almost made it up to 2,000. And for reference, again, going back, the low is 16.26. That'd be about $380 above it. So Amazon holding up pretty well in this market also. In terms of other headlines out there, Bitcoin making a run. Cryptos rising 23.8 billion in 24 hours as Bitcoin jumps near 16%. Checking out the Bitcoin chart this morning. BTC, I know it's on here. Let me find it. All right, there we go. 66.15. Backing this up a year, not really a dramatic move, right? We were at 14,000. But you put this on just a 5-day, 15-minute. Check out that run back to last Friday, 42.10, the price of Bitcoin. We just made it up to almost 7,000, up 6% today on the print, up 375 for Bitcoin. Other headlines out there in terms of Italy asking for help from the EU Crisis Fund. Unfortunate situation going on over there. Italy extending their lockdown, hoping to get things under control in that market. And we got to touch on it. Why not touch on it right now? With a group of senators. So quite the story coming out. Tom was emailing me this morning. I'm talking to friends about it last night. I'm sure if you're into the market, you may have heard it already. Pretty remarkable. The senators that were privy to this information selling stock prior to the market collapse. So I believe this is going to be the mention of them. So 2 GOP. I believe the number is now up to 4. We'll have to get it together. But, you know, one of them, Richard Burr, he was also caught on audio talking to a special club group about the severity of what was going to go on, I believe February 27th. But this senator in particular, Richard Burr, so he is the Senate Intelligence Chairman. And it's pretty stark. So he sold off a significant percentage of his stocks, between 628,000 and 1.7 million of his holdings on February 13th, 33 separate trades. This was not one trade, 33 different trades for that value in there. And February 27th, he was caught on the audio tape that was released. Now, he's getting constant updates, especially in his position with the Senate Intelligence Chairman. What I want to speed down to, because there's a lot in this article, we'll get into it with Tom on our program at 10 o'clock as well. But here's the biggest part that really, as if that doesn't raise red flags enough, and there's more. There's Dianne Feinstein was here, 3 Senate colleagues sold off stocks. We'll get those names up there. But check out what he actually sold. His biggest sales included companies that are among the most vulnerable. He dumped up to $150,000 worth of Wyndham hotels and resorts. You can all guess what a hotel chain resort has done in the stock market, even if you don't have the chart. We'll pull it up in a moment, though. And he sold up to $100,000 of shares of Extended Stay America, an economy hospitality chain. Both of those just taking a pummel for sure. Wyndham, I think it's, WYND, $17, was at $13 yesterday. But look at that fall off the cliff, $53. All right. And I believe he sold those equities somewhere around the $50 price point, and you're trading at $17 right now. I could spend 2 hours on this story, and I know Tom's going to want to talk about it. He's going to be fired up. You should be fired up about it, too, because it's pretty remarkable that they're talking about that, let alone, before we get off the wonderful senator here, Burr, because his real problem as well is that he's on audio telling everybody that there's going to be a huge disruption of what is to come. Meanwhile, he was out there writing editorials that everything is fine and selling all his stocks. So in terms of who, so you have Feinstein. She's a ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and her husband sold 1.5 million and 6 million. That's the range that they're in a biotech company, Allogen, between January 31st and February 18th. I mean, just unloading stocks. It's remarkable. We talked about Burr. He was in there as well. And let's see who else. Loeffler, that's right, Loeffler. So Loeffler's husband, I believe, is the head of the NYSE. We're going to get this up. Yes, Loeffler and her husband, chairman of the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so their husband, chairman of the New York Stock Exchange, is saying it's not a big deal. Between that day and February 14th, they sold stock between $1.2 and $3 million. Remarkable stories there, folks. So we'll get into it. We will. Checking in on some of the FANG stocks as we come into the first break. Amazon shares, like I mentioned, they're going to open 1940 or so, drilling this down short time frame. We're also getting some good action in Microsoft. It was as high as 154 almost, still up about $6 pre-market. Google shares, 1151. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be coming back after the break. We'll go over what else we have on tap for Friday. Markets in positive territory. Stay tuned.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my gold report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Markets in positive territory, but well off the highs that we had overnight. You look at this move in the S&Ps that we had overnight. Just one more mention. 7 o'clock last night, we're trading at 23.30. You make it up to 24.99. So you're talking about 170 points, 169 S&P points, while 169 out of 23.30, you're talking about 7.2%. You buy the lows last night, you sell the highs, which obviously is not going to happen except for a miracle. But if you do, you're talking about a 7.2% run from that level. And now we've just dropped 80 points from that level. More than 3% we've dropped from those highs. 24.20 should be an exciting day in the market. Checking out the VIX. I mean, the one thing you can guarantee, folks, is volatility is still here, all right? The VIX at 68. We were down as low as about 65, but as you've seen the market pull back, you've seen the VIX climb back up towards that 70 price point. Some of the other stocks making headlines today, jumping over to the stocks making moves. So Tiffany, LVMH is considering buying Tiffany shares on the opening market. The shares are currently selling below the $135 per share takeover price that LVMH agreed to pay when it struck its deal with the luxury good retailer in November. Separately, Tiffany reported quarterly profit of $1.80 a share, 3 above estimates, revenue slightly below forecast, comp sales exceeded estimates. So TIF, pretty remarkable, right? You make a deal to buy a company for one price in November. Come February, the world pandemic is breaking out. And there you see the acceleration. So it was ticking across at that purchase price, and it took until about March 6th until the market said, hold on, this is going to trade down to 111. We're back at 126, and that's from $78 as that thing has really jumped around. That's when the news first broke that LVMH was going to be looking to buy them. And it looks like you were at about 90 to 92 to up to $100 before you really got the jump on the first reports up to almost 130. Pretty tough coming out with earnings right now with everything going on, but the parade of earnings marches on. Hibbett Sports fell 11 cents a share, shy of the forecast. Okay, quarterly earnings, 51 cents a share. Revenue came in above forecast. HIBB, see how they're trading? Some of these were reacting. Boy, I got to drill this down. Any stock you put on a 30-day. So a little bit of a pop from 9.75 to 11. Tough to be a retailer right now. Nike getting an upgrade to a buy from a neutral at Bank of America, saying overall challenging environment could enhance Nike's momentum in increasing global market share. Nike's done a fairly good job of their online transition. 60 to 71. I mean, the haircut on this stock, it first began, they had such a presence in China. They were one of the first stocks that really reacted because they do so much business in China in terms of just the demand side of things. But you see the drop, and then you see the acceleration with the U.S. markets. We go from 105 down to 60. We're going to open at about $71 for Nike. Tesla is going to suspend production at its Fremont, California factory on March 24th. All of these companies, whether it's towns in Clearwater right now, Clearwater beaches are closing, I believe it's Monday at 6 a.m., so they're open for the weekend. I know I have great friends that have Clearwater Beach shops down there. It is a really tough time. I just don't understand the idea that if you are going to close them down Monday, why you would need to have a last weekend of like a send-off. If it was that dire to close things down, I just feel like you should close them down. Just like Tesla, they're going to suspend their production on March 24th. Now, I understand finance comes into it, but that's 4 days from right now. If this is really such a big deal, it seems like if it's exponential growth, why wouldn't you be doing these steps immediately? Also suspend production in its New York solar roof tile. Tesla's really had a run recently. Check this out. Tesla from 968. We're going to open right now at about 434. 427 was the close yesterday. The true definition of parabolic. Straight up, straight down, right to that 400 price point. And don't be surprised. I mean, the lows around here, 332, well within range with the volatility Tesla's trading at. Even though long term, I think they'll be all right. CrowdStrike reported quarterly loss of 2 cents a share, smaller than the 8-cent loss Wall Street was predicting. The cybersecurity company gave an upbeat guidance with the crisis spurring more work at home and raising the need for cyber protection. You better believe it. Everybody is going to be on their computers. CrowdStrike, so let's drill this down, shorter time frame. Yeah, check out that pop on their earnings last night. Let me get that off there. So you were at about 41 bucks, and the earnings come out $50, the price for CrowdStrike, putting things over even the last 20 days. You were hovering at around $60 before the market fell apart, so you're going to be back up to $50 from 31. Geez, what a buying opportunity that could be. Maybe you get cut in half from 62 to 31. You're a company that's in the industry of computer protection, viruses, whatnot. And, of course, that's going to be something people are using more readily. Not necessarily businesses trimming their expenses, but just in general. So Apple, they're limiting online purchases of iPhones 2 per customer. So they're dealing with some supply chain disruptions. As you can imagine, they're trying to make sure people don't begin hoarding their iPhones. Apple shares, you back things up. I mean, we're at 320. You made it down to 235. It's almost a $100 haircut. Apple's held up relatively well since making that low at about March 12th. In this range from 240 to 260. Going to open at about 250. This morning, though, we were up at almost like 260. Since we're on Apple, just Microsoft, some of the other stocks, pretty similar action, right? You trade low this week, just chopping around in between about 140 and 150. Amazon shares, a little bit of a different story. They've climbed out of the depths of 1625, 2147, just back to February 21st. Even jumping around to Facebook, quite the decline from 214 to 137, back up to 157, a little bit longer, even a 3-year weekly. Quite the drop-off from 224, that 123 low down there, that's going back to December of 2018, the market low, so not quite back to that price point. Other companies out there, Walmart, hiring 150,000 workers. I believe I had that headline up there somewhere, but they are hiring workers to deal with a virus-related surge in shoppers. Follows Amazon, as I believe Amazon hiring 100,000 workers, along with a raise. Walmart also announcing it would pay a cash bonus of $300 to full-time hourly workers and $150 to part-time. So Walmart shares, talk about some bars there towards the end, but 128 was the all-time high. You're going to open at about 123 this morning. I mean, that's a strong weekly chart from $69. With the market getting destroyed, Walmart in a good place to be able to service people remotely. In terms of online delivery, 128 was the high on Wednesday, 123 so far today. And Amazon, since we're looking at it, the same deal. Quite the pop from 1625, that Monday low, to almost 2,000. That's 25%, folks, almost, that you just got in Amazon from Monday to Friday for a company that is going to be around. You know, these are the types of things, if you have a 401k, you're not going to touch it for 5-8 years. Company like Amazon, even a company Like Disney, you might have to wait a little bit longer, but $79. I mean, we've covered it with Tom. Just remarkable when you back this up on a 3-year weekly. The world found out in April of last year that Disney was going to compete and underprice Netflix to the tune of like $7 a month for their service, bundle it for $13.99 a month. You trade all the way up to $153 on just a beat across the board. Most of this having to do with their Disney Plus streaming service, along with they had some great blockbusters last year, too. I believe 10 films or 9 films with $1 billion gross, $10 billion gross at the movie theaters. That's basically going to dry up over the period of 2 or 3 months, at least in the U.S., along with, of course, international. They're getting hit as well. But in the long term, $95 for Disney. And how about the ride-sharing companies? We're going to pull these up when we come back, because check out that pop on Uber from $13.71 to above $24. Uber, they're getting hit hard, but they're going to be around in the future as well. Stay tuned, folks. Markets in positive territory. We'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. 35 minutes to go until the opening bell. Markets in positive territory, but we've pulled dramatically off the highs. You're looking at Dow futures, 20,131. We're about 700 points off the highs we had between about 4 and 6 a.m. Eastern time this morning. So finishing up, I was talking about Uber, and what they did a couple days ago, Uber saying cash cushion of at least $4 billion. So during an analyst call Thursday, Uber said it actually expects to have $6 billion in cash, along with a $2 billion debt revolver. In the worst case scenario, the new coronavirus causing more extreme slowdown in the ride-hailing business, the company would have $4 billion in cash reserves, plus that $2 billion in revolver. One of the things they got into is how their costs are very dependent on the business that they're doing. It would make sense, right? You're paying out costs of whether it's paying out to the contractors with the drivers, et cetera, but those all reliant on the business. So Uber shares pop on that news dramatically yesterday, from 14 and change all the way to above 20. Still today, we're going to be up almost another 10% on the open this morning, $2 on a $20 stock. Some context for Uber, because we just found out on their earnings call, February 6th, Uber announced to the world that they planned prior to coronavirus that they were going to be cash flow positive by the end of this year. They have a ton of cash on hand. They told the market they're going to be cash flow positive towards the end of this year. You were just at $42 and you had Uber all the way down at 13. I mean, if you're in the market for a year or 2 or 3 years, I imagine they're going to still be changing the world. Uber, I don't imagine that word coming out of our vocabulary. Just huge moves. And the canopy growth stocks of the world in cannabis, big moves and big potential as well. You know, the cannabis market, they got some good news yesterday. Check out the pop on Canopy from 9 to 11. I mean, you're up $2 on a $9 stock, but long term, they're the industry leader. Quite the haircut. 3-year weekly. We're back to where we were, folks, at the end of 2017 almost. Should be an interesting open in the market. Stay tuned. Larry Pesavento coming up live at 9. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Tom. Live programming all day at TFNN. We'll be right back, folks.